evening again, everybody. So nice to be back with all of you. On a personal note, I met Shai probably about 5 or 6 years ago. We met online, and for 3 years, we emailed each other back and forth about the possibility of his coming to film the evolution of the musical I was writing. And that's how it began. And then he came, I'm trying to remember what year that was, and he interviewed the cast members and the arranger and myself, and we started to edit it, and then COVID intervened, but he'll be back very soon, and we'll finish it. And of course, I'll want to share it with the Mastery Circle. And Bill, thank you for participating, and for everybody who has helped support the musical. That's just on a personal note. And now I want to talk about the extraordinary young man, he's a young man for me, who's going to be speaking now, Shaison Ouseph. He is an internationally acclaimed documentary filmmaker, cameraman, and photographer. His many credits range from director of photography to art direction on a myriad of documentaries and independent feature projects. He has received multiple awards for his work on social issues from the United Nations, the US Embassy, the International Labor Organization, and the American Independent Film Awards. The World Institute for Peace recognized Shaison as the World Icon of Media for Peace in 2017. That was quite an accolade. Shaison is the Associate Dean and head of the Department of Film and Television at Xavier, St. Xavier's College, which is in Mumbai. And he teaches filmmaking at various places around the world. He has been featured in many national and international magazines, radio, television programs. His association with international organizations include Habitat for Humanity, Seeds of Peace, and the Life Story Library Foundation in the USA. He is also one of the board members for Next Generation Global Education in USA. Now, he's going to talk about his upcoming feature film, which is no longer upcoming because he spoke at the Mastery Circle, I think it was, Shai, was it 2 years ago? 3 years ago? When he was just about to embark on the journey of making his first feature film. And he actually completed it. It's being edited, or I think the editing is finished. He'll tell you more about it. But it has been a joy to see someone realize the fulfillment of a desire to create a magical project, which he spoke about and shared at the very beginning, a story that touched him so profoundly that he felt he had to make a film about it. It is a true story of a Catholic nun who was murdered for empowering tribal women and children in the remotest villages of India. Shaison's goal is to inspire young people and use films to share powerful human stories for the greater good. It's my pleasure and personal pleasure and delight to introduce you to Shaison P. Ouseph from Mumbai. Shai. Shai, I call him Shai because Shai in Hebrew means gift, and he is a gift.
Thank you. Thank you, Ruth. Can I speak now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Very good morning. Very good morning to each and everyone gathered here, and namaste from India. Thank you, Mastery Circle Los Angeles, for this space, and a warm greetings to all from here in Mumbai. Thank you, Ruth, for your kind introduction about me. As she said, Ruth and me have been working together for the past several years on a wonderful project. And she is a creator of Interfaith, the musical. So I'm so happy to be here with her. I just love the great work that she's doing That's the reason I have been associated with her for the last several years. And this is my lucky second chance to speak with you all. I am happy that I can easily recognize some of the faces here. The last one was almost 4 years back, where I have introduced and talked about my dream of making a film on a true story. In that particular meeting, you all wished me very luck, and some of you are still in touch with me to know the progress of my dream. Today, I am here with you all and with the good news. The good news is that we managed successfully to complete or making the film, The Face of the Faceless, on the life of Blessed Rani Maria. So the Face of the Faceless is produced by, under the banner, Twilight Creations, and co-created by Don Bosco International from Paris. I'm sure that this film will be close to your hearts, since Mastery Circle always believe that all you people are consisting of individuals who celebrate the deepening of spiritual connection and higher levels of consciousness. So this film is based on the true story of Blessed Rani Maria, a Catholic nun, her life and her influence on our society. This feature film has a duration of 2 hours and 10 minutes and will be soon released worldwide in Spanish, French, Hindi, and other few Indian languages with subtitles in English. Now, let me take you through the synopsis of this film, The Face of the Faceless. As we know, the nature provides for our need, but not for our greed. We are experiencing the same even today in a world clueless about the direction in which it is headed. This is the occasion when we turn around towards our own leaders and role models who can lead us through the tunnel of darkness. Thus, the depiction of the story of a leader who championed the cause of humanity, Sister Rani Maria. It takes a might of leader to be one and support the downtrodden, and that too in a land completely unknown. Sister Rani Maria decided to be with the marginalized community in Indore, a small city in Madhya Pradesh, the central state of India, as a part of her commitment, where she realized her mission of accomplishing sustainable living amenities, unemployment, education for the community that she worked with. The community proudly remembers her as Indore Ki Rani, which means the Queen of Indore. She did this not just being the boss or an instructional lady, but being one. And her role model was none other than the world-renowned Mother Teresa. This tale depicts the trials and tribulations of a woman who rose above her boundaries of religion, realized the universal oneness, and committed her life for women empowerment much before these words started getting acceptance. Some of you may be aware of so-called caste system in India. The issue of upper caste feudalism, the debt-trapped
induced by the zemindars, meaning the rich landlords, eventual suicide of farmers, the bureaucratic blockade of the government bodies. All these still play the system that which we claim as democracy. Sister Rani Maria realized that the individual spirit, rooted in spiritual wisdom, can rise above all and still attempt to deliver good for the human cause of equitable development. The narrative takes its course through the time of her eventful experiences, that is starting from 1992-1994 in Bhopal and Indore, the center part of India, encountering life-risking incidents with the powerful rich landlords, where she single-handedly motivated the villagers to stand in unity with her, practicing non-violence, and achieved victory. The eventful test for leaders rooted with spiritual wisdom, as you know, and in faith, sometimes gives a chance to sacrifice their life. They do it with a smile on their face. The immortals in history being like Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, and many more, as we know. The fate that awaited Sister Rani Maria was no different. Sister Rani Maria was murdered in a knife attack by the hitman Samandar Singh in Indore, in center part of India, on February 25th, 1995, and she had 40 major injuries on her body. The murderer was arranged by some landlords who were offended because Sister Rani Maria gave her life helping the poor and marginalized in India. So the Samandar Singh was convicted of Sister Rani Maria's murder and sentenced to life imprisonment. On the occasion of the 8th death anniversary of Sister Rani Maria, that is on February 25th, 2003, her mother, Elisha, visited the jail and kissed the hands of her daughter's assassin. The killer was pardoned by Sister Rani Maria's family, and he is considered one of their own. No gesture of forgiveness could have been more eloquent and a powerful expression of forgiveness, love, forgiving love. This surely speaks of volumes of compassion, sacrifice, and acceptance as ordained by immortal masters who still continue to lead us through examples even in times that look dismal. As we say, we find that all spiritual paths have a deep common truth. The attempt here is to depict the immortal life of this great leader through the life-inspiring incidents, the struggle, the victories, leading to her sacrifice for the cause championed by Sister Rani Maria. Now you might ask me, why this film? Blessed Rani Maria is a true example to the world, as she fought against the injustice in the community she served. Blessed Rani Maria often said, "We are grafted onto the cross, and we must carry it joyfully unto death." So the injustice she fought against were local in nature, but have universal application. Her life story, the story of her family, and their relationship with her murderer will have an impact on the whole society.
And as you are aware, the film has a far greater power to move minds than either the written or spoken words. I have been working on this film for the last 7 years with an outstanding crew of almost 350 members from 16 states across India. And this film was shot for 2 months in extreme climate of 45 to 49 degrees Celsius in 3 states of India, which is Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, and in Kerala, down south of India. As one of our crew members said, for many days, I was unable to sleep and eat properly as I was highly moved by the struggle and sufferings shown in the movie and the pain taken by Sister Rani Maria for the downtrodden. Friends, now the film is ready. The dubbing for other languages like Spanish and French is happening in Paris. Blessed Rani Maria's story deserves to be told and has a wide audience around the world. I will greatly appreciate your support, Mastery Circle International, to bring this dream project to a successful one. You can help me in two major ways. One, since I haven't approached any of the theatrical distribution companies in the United States of America, you can help me to get connect with American distribution companies. Point number 2, once the trailer and the promo is out, that which is very soon, please share with your friends and loved ones. Thereby the message goes far and wide. Dear members, you are amazing and an energetic group. I have full faith and a strong belief that with your assistance of the members of Mastery Circle, Los Angeles, we look for ways of expression that unite us in our humanity through this film. We can spread the message of forgiveness and the value of living for others. Before I conclude, my heartfelt thanks to Mary Grace Glinson for your interest and supporting me. And special thanks to Ruth Broide Sharon. She's the reason why I am here today with you. Thanks, Bill Houston, for hosting me today. Thank you, each and everyone, for your kind listening. As one of our participants clearly mentioned in the chart, this community is how the world is the best of love. And we say we honor the divine that is within ourselves and others. And we know we are one. May God bless each one of us and make this film, The Face of the Faceless, a grand success. Namaste.
Beautiful, Shai. Thank you so much. And I love the way you incorporated our purpose statement into what you were saying now. You really get it. We have plenty of time, however. We have another half hour. So maybe this is a good time for people to pose questions to you. Would somebody, it could be a question about the making of the film or the events that inspired it or futures from here. And I see Dr. Thomas Griggs has his hand up. So would you please kick it off?
Yeah, thank you, Bill. Thank you, Shai. I can't wait to see the film. And I'm not in LA. I'm afraid I don't have connections with distribution systems, but I'll be happy to do what I can from here up in Seattle. My question that I found myself wondering about is, how did the 6 or 7 years of working on this change you? What was the impact on you of doing this project? Can you speak to that at all?
Oh, Dr. Thomas, thanks for asking that question. I think you are the third person to ask the same question, almost the same question. Because in the last meeting, when I was attending with all the cardinals and bishops and the heads of the Catholic Church, they asked me the same question. So I had to say that, the initial stage, I was just interested only in the story, because the story is powerful, that I just want to deliver or just want to capture it and show to the people. That was my initial aim. But as I started going through the script, as I started working even with the guy who murdered Sister Rani Maria, staying with him for a couple of days and knowing him, why he did and what was the motivation behind it, and living with the people, those who lived with Sister Rani Maria, I came to know that, I'm not just dealing with a story. It's much more than a story. And now I started liking towards the entire story, which means there is something more than a story within this story.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Welcome. Did I answer your question?
Yes, that's fine.
Thank you.
So I have actually no. Let's Jenny first, and then I'll please.
I am so touched by your film and your process of making this a reality, and I would like to ask you if you know of any movement from the Catholic Church to canonize this wonderful woman who sacrificed her life and become a saint. Is there anything that you have heard about it?
Yes, Jennifer, she is on the way to sainthood. So her 3 stages before becoming sainthood, 2 stages are already over. Now there is only one more stage. I think it will be done within a year or 2. So she will be known as Saint Rani Maria.
Wonderful. Appreciate it. Many blessings to you. Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you. Namaste.
I have a couple of thoughts, Shai. One is, are you familiar with IMDb?
IMDb, yes.
Okay,
yes,
because I know you're not listed there, and it might be smart to be listed there. I don't know. Maybe that's not part of your strategy yet, but it will. It's worldwide. It's films worldwide that are listed there, and that would be maybe a good place to be.
Sure.
Also, I was wondering too about if you touch on any of the connections between her assassination, let's call it that, and those of like religious activists in Central America. I'm thinking of Bishop Oscar Romero, for example, and any number of others who were killed for economic reasons, or philosophical or whatever, whose assassinations were paid for by certain wealthy men. So I was just wondering if you draw any parallels between her killing and others.
Yes, I suppose.
Okay.
I suppose, like if we talk about the killings which has taken place basically in India, if you look at it, whoever has spoken the truth, of course, that's the same for everyone around the world. But here in India, especially last 5-6 years, we have several killings that's been taken place without any clue who did that. And all these people stood for the poor and oppressed in India.
Thank you.
So the circle of this behavior goes on.
Indeed. Thank you very much. Ruth.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Ruth, please.
Shai, as a filmmaker, I'm curious to know myself. You mentioned that there were 350 some people on the crew, and they were from
Yes.
different parts of India. And
Yes.
I'm sure they didn't all speak the same language, or maybe they spoke English rather than their own native language in order to communicate. What did you speak in Hindi in the?
No, Ruth, I just want to clarify that, we had people from 15 states. Majority of the people were speaking one language, which is common language, which is Hindi.
Hindi, right.
But the rest of the entire crowd had so much of difficulty understanding. So what we did, we put them together for almost 15 days to know the entire team. And we had workshops on acting and how the project would go further.
Wow, that's fascinating. Did you film that process?
Yes, of course, we have all the footages with us.
Yeah, and so they were not just crew members. They were people who had, by the time you started, they had an understanding. I mean, a lot of people come to work on a film and they don't even really know what it's about. They just know they have to be gaffers, or they have to be sound people, or they have to be production assistants, but they don't really understand the theme of the story. So by the time the film was finished, I imagine you were unified in a way, because just learning of the story of Sister Maria, and many of them probably came from towns and villages that were equally poor, and so they could identify with her and what she was doing more so than the cast on most crews around the world when they make a story, when they make a film.
Yes, Ruth. The first day when they came together, of course, I have introduced, or I have emailed to each and every one about the film. And I told them that, if you're comfortable with this film, because unlike any other, the high glossy films, this is something different.
Right.
Therefore, don't expect that kind of status that once you arrive. And they have all come with an open heart, and they said, yes, we want to do it. And once they came to know about the story, they were all into it. And some of the interviews that we can see it on our website, thefaceofthefaceless.com. If you go there, you have little more than 25 interviews. Some of them are in Hindi, but with subtitles. So these are the interviews given by our crew members.
One last comment, Shai, is that I'm familiar with the great films of Sajid Ray, the wonderful Indian director, and many of us maybe have seen classical films of India that relate back, 100 years or more than that. But now, most recently, India is known for Bollywood films, that has kind of defined the cinema from India. So it feels to me like this is a huge departure and an opportunity to explore India even though it's a feature film, it has a documentary feel to it. Is that correct, what I'm saying?
Yes, Ruth. It's a feature film, but I have not given too much of a documentary feel into it. Why? Because the documentary is completely different from feature film. That as a filmmaker, you understand
right.
What I'm saying. So I haven't given too much of feel of a documentary into this film as such. This stands as a film.
I meant in the way you treat the area of the country and the history of the country and what happened there. So I mean, it comes out of documentary reality, but you treat
yes.
But it's a story and a feature film. I get that. But
yes. But
it's not a make-believe film. That's as opposed to.
Yeah, as you said, this incident took place of more than 23 years back. So we had to now, within that 20 years or 23 years of time, there are a lot of changes which happened in India, everywhere. Okay, here in India, earlier we had no TV sets, television sets. Now every family has got a television sets, and they keep the antenna on top of their house, which means each frame we had to remove those antennas.
Oh, the antennas. Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
right, because and the surroundings. So the earlier times we had no road, the proper roads, and now all the roads are tarred, means that it's the vehicle can move easily. So that was another task for us, to find a location which is similar to those 25 years back.
Yeah.
Great.
Searching for a location and finding similar people. Now the change of cloth, because now last 20 or 25 years back, nobody wear jeans or pants this particular remote areas.
Exactly.
So we had to make almost these 200 people or 150 people to wear the old dress, so which we had to stitch. I mean, we have to make it.
Make it authentic. So listen, excuse me, Shai, we're getting some questions backing up. So I'm going to say it'll be Michael and then Dana and then Linda.
Right. Shaison, is that your right name?
Yes, Michael.
So I understand in part you're asking us about distribution or how to get this film out. And I guess one of my questions, given that it is a story, a very powerful story, that has you're talking about a story that has an element of justice and a very intense subject matter. Is part of this movie to raise consciousness and possibly to raise people to maybe to drive a purpose or to drive a cause? And if it is that what one of your intentions is, to drive a cause, to inspire people to become involved?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
In other words, and then possibly to raise people to maybe to donate money to a cause or become involved in a cause. Because if it is, I think that really impacts how you think about distributing the film and what networks you might use to distribute the film. Because that's a whole different sort of thing than conventional theatrical distribution. There would be a whole different strategy you might use to engage. In other words, you might even think about looking at the film either partially episodic and rounding it out with story material supporting it. Because if you're really trying to engage the audience in being part of this story, I mean, I put it out to others to think about it, but it sounds like this is really a labor of love and passion, that you want people to care about it and you want people to be involved. And
yes.
In that sense, the film is a vehicle. And I guess the question I would ask you is, once people have seen the film, what would you want people to do after they've seen the film?
Of course, the first thing they let them understand the reality which is happening in India even today. Hope, Michael, you may be aware that every day there are like several numbers of farmers are being killed in India, or they commit suicides because of the debt which is taken from the banks. And the bank, they charge a huge amount of tax and the interest rate. So the poor people are always facing this problem here back in India. So I want to bring this kind of issues. Of course, we are dealing with all these kind of issues in the film. And the treatment towards women and children. Still, we are not equal in India. We talk about a lot that women are equal, the kids are equal, and what they go through it. And now, even now, the education is not free in India. They say it, but many of them, they don't get it. So the entire India can be divided into two, which is one half and the other one half notes. And that remains even now today. Now I'm talking about the other side of India. Even this 22 years back or 25 years back, all these incidents happens. Even these incidents have so much relevance today.
So you want to bring about pressure, political pressure on India to
Exactly.
change.
Exactly, Michael.
Do you have a plan in your mind for the vehicle by which this political pressure would be brought?
I have slide, but I'm not clear about it.
Okay.
I'm not clear about it, but I think discussing with like-minded people can give more inputs, and I can have a clear vision.
Hopefully
Okay.
so. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for some insightful questions there too, Michael, and
Okay.
continue that area. Now, let me just, we got Dana and then Linda and then Whitney.
I'm curious. On YouTube, there is another film that seems to be The Face of the Faceless down here, and it's in Indian. This is not a film. This is just a sharing.
Just a promo.
That's a promo. Is that your film?
It's not a promo. It's an event which happened for this film, which we have done events in certain cities.
Right.
That's one of the events they have covered.
So even if it's mostly in Hindi, we can watch that and get a sense of who this woman was.
Yes, sure, you can. Of course, the Hindi feature film will have the subtitles in English.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, because I saw it on YouTube and I said, well, so that's the same film. Great, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Linda, please.
Hi, Shai. Good to see you again. I remember you.
Thank you.
I want to go to the personal because I remember being a journalist and I remember doing some documentaries, shorter ones, not feature films. There's a story, but there's a personal. And I know that you experienced this. Here's a story I want to tell. Now I am involved. I have to be involved. So the human side of a journalist or a documentarian becomes closer to the story and becomes, I don't want to say part of the story, but I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, Linda. All right. Linda, when I started this film 7 years back, I knocked almost every doors in order to get resource to complete this film. Nobody, I can't say nobody, but not many have opened the doors. Some of them were afraid. Some of them don't want to invest because they were lacking the knowledge about what I'm doing. And only the person who knew that it's me, what I'm doing. So all my works for the last 5 years, of course, last 3 years, first 3 years was almost like hidden. I personally went to their villages along with my scriptwriter and start discovering more about. Then came back and discussed with this theme with my international friends who are into films and start seeing the film in a different point of view. How this story can give a different look and different taste to the viewers. That's part one. Part two, as you said, I got too much involved in the kind of a passion that I have now, which comes from the true story of Rani Maria. These people even have challenged me. How will you able to complete this film? And today I can stand in front of everyone and say that, yes, I did it. I did it.
Great.
I hope, Linda, I answered your question.
Enough. Thank you, baby.
Yeah.
Great. Whitney, please.
Hi, thank you. This is an amazing topic. Two questions or two comments. I'd like to understand a little bit more the differences between Mother Teresa and this Sister Maria, because everybody's going to think about Mother Teresa, and it sounds like it is very different. And so if you could speak to that. And then I just kind of off the top of my head, and you probably already know all this, but Michael Moore, you remind me of Michael Moore, you know, the filmmaker. I think he's from Michigan, but he's done, you know, all of those films that are social justice causes or industrial political protest kind of mission movies, films that sounds like yours is in that track. And I would imagine that it would be very easy to communicate with him. And also Al Jazeera, Vice, and film festivals, I'm sure you're aware and you know, especially Robert Redford at Sundance. So there's the independent filmmakers, which it sounds like you are. You're not part of Bollywood. And so I just throw that out there. And you know, Vice is this really cool, I don't know if they're film or what they are, but they do these kind of stories, these kind of, you know, horrible stuff that's going on out there that doesn't get represented enough and that people need to learn about and do something about. So there, I'm done.
Thank you. Sorry.
Did you want to respond? And then Mac.
I didn't get Whitney's question.
Sorry. Oh,
I'm sorry.
Well, the first part of it was if you could speak to a little bit the differences between Mother Teresa and Sister Maria, because everybody's going to think of her. I'd like to understand more.
Yes, thank you, Whitney. Mother Teresa, who came from a different country to India and started her mission work. First, she was with her own congregation. Then later she decided to quit the congregation and she started her own congregation, basically to help the poor street children and the abandoned children in the city called Calcutta in India. So there she started her mission work, and later it spread around across India, and now which has got branches almost every country in the world. And it's in huge numbers, they're her followers. Her story is that she worked and people appreciated her work. So she had support. So she could move ahead with that mission. But here the story of Sister Rani Maria is completely different. She had to fight against the system, against each and every one in the village. In the film that we are showing, even to the people whom she was helping, misunderstood her.
Mm-hmm.
As a result, there are times they questioned. Her own congregation, the provincial, the superior questioned, why are you doing this? This is your last warning. In spite of all these things, she went ahead and she worked. And of course, we know the result. As a result, she was murdered. So there, Mother Teresa has been accepted by the society and being given support. Here, she was not given any kind of support by the society, and at the end, she was just murdered. But on top of it, above this, all these things, there is a Christian tradition or Christian faith which stands for forgiveness. And her mother forgave this man, this killer, and said, let me kiss the hands that killed my daughter.
Thank you.
Wow. Mac, please.
Okay, because of time, I'm going to be very fast and brief. First of all, I want to thank you for a very beautiful presentation and for having the heart to promote forgiveness in the world through this movie you have done. Now, this movie is about a Reverend sister who was fighting for the rights of people who were the downtrodden and the people of the farmers. Now, the killer of the sister was arrested. What I want to ask is, what about the people who sent him, the rich landlords? Were they arrested? Were they implicated and arrested? And, was there some kind of justice for Sister Rani?
Mac, very good question. I just want to tell you, they were just free from the beginning even till today.
Wow. And if I may just jump in again, please, I am a media person. When this movie comes out, I'll be very free and very happy to promote the trailer in any way I can.
Thank you. Thank you, Mac.
All right.
Beautiful. Lovita, please.
I'm wondering, is the Catholic Church financially supporting you in any way?
Lovita Catholic Church here in India, which is known as CBCI, Catholic Bishops Conference of India. I have knocked their doors too several times, but they appreciate what I'm doing, but they don't want support economically. And they have not done till today.
Can you go higher than the Indian organization?
Higher than the Indian organization is Rome.
Yeah.
Of course, I have few friends over there. They said that once the film is ready, we'll be happy to have a screening here in Rome and talk about it. So that's only the option in front of me. So I will make use of that too.
Thank you.
Great. Amy will be our last question then.
Thank you so much. This is really an amazing story. I love female saints so much that have been downplayed and ignored, and their stories obliterated into history. And I would ask, I wonder what, other than the amazing miracle of forgiveness from the family, is the Catholic Church waiting for that last step of miracles to be shown from Sister Rani Maria?
Yes, I think the Catholic Church is waiting for the last sign, a miracle, to make her as a saint. I think they require 3 miracles to make someone saint. I think 2 they have it, and the last one they are awaiting. So once it's been done, I think she's going to be a saint.
Can you just explain what kind of miracle?
Miracle has to be a miracle. It's been doctored by, make your pardon?
No,
Ruth?
just explain it. What does that mean in the Catholic Church to prove that she accomplished
someone, I think Jonathan would love to explain. Jonathan, do you wish to explain?
Oh no, he was just saying goodbye.
Okay, goodbye. Okay. Ruth, the miracle means the miracle which the medicine cannot cure a person, something that sort of sickness being cured because of the intercession by this particular, or through this particular nun, is getting cured, then is called as miracle. But again, that needs to be scientifically proved. There will be a team of doctors, there will be a team of psychologists, there will be a team of spiritual fathers who will get into each and every aspect of that particular miracle and see whether it's been proven by 3 of the teams.
Okay. So I guess that we are complete. Thank you so much, Shaison, for coming and for presenting. Just applause, a big round of applause.